All right, there we go. We're live. What's up, Debo?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me on the channel.
Yeah, awesome. I really had this dream aspiration of being creative and have some intro where Debo from Friday would be in a video and be creeping up and be some dramatic entrance, and then
that's my bike punk.
Yeah, and then I realized that I ain't got time for that.
I hear you there, man. No shame.
What's up, Darius? Shadow Bassin. A couple of the regulars pouring in. I am mystified as one requires a random box. Well, I'll explain that actually, how I acquired some random boxes to open tonight. So that's a good question. You get some random boxes every now and then, Debo. Things just show up in your P.O. box.
I have a few things that show up. Yes, sir. Actually, Epic Eric, I've got a nice little package I got from him the other day. I might have to show those. I forgot about those.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Maybe
random
some,
stuff
maybe
all
some
the time.
Secret shaky heads in there or something like that.
That's it. Yeah, y'all probably saw it on a video, but they're just cool. I can't wait to use them. I was talking to a subscriber today about them. He's like, dude, those are sweet. When is he going to start selling those? I'm like, dude, hit him up.
Yeah,
that's some sweet stuff.
I've been meaning to order some of his decals. It's on my list of things to do is to order Bass Lab stickers and maybe get one back here and kind of support. But I haven't done that yet.
Yes, he's got some sweet stickers. And at the time I got him, I don't think he had them or I didn't know about it. So I felt like a dummy, but
yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, tonight, a couple things on the agenda. I got some random tackle to show off. I think Debo might have a few things as he might show off. So be kind of bait centric and tackle talk tonight, or wherever the show takes us. We'll definitely have some time for a bunch of questions. Do want to say thanks to Arsenal for bringing the live stream this week. So arsenalfishing.com. You can use HellaBass 15 to save 15% off. So that is a new perk of the show, and we thank them for supporting it. I do have kind of a little announcement. Next week, I got this Arsenal prize pack. We're not going to open it tonight, but this thing is full of goodies, and next week's stream, we're going to give this away. We might give something away tonight, but this is next week's. So, yeah. So that being said, maybe just a little bit, maybe not I think some people know who Debo is, but tell us a little bit about yourself. What part of Iowa are you from?
I'm in Cedar Rapids, so
okay, cool.
Southeastern side of Iowa.
Yep.
I don't know how far from you. Where are you at in Minnesota?
I'm just south of Minneapolis, so it's
okay.
I want to say it's right around 3-ish hours. Actually, my mother's grandpa lived in Cedar Rapids for several years, so we'd go down there all the time and do some pre-Thanksgivings and things like that. So
small world. Yeah, we used to have friends that lived up in Minneapolis. That's a fun city. I haven't been up there it's been probably 4 years, but go up there and hit the Timberwolves games. I'm a big basketball guy, so
sure.
We have a beautiful stadium.
I've never fished anywhere near Cedar Rapids.
Well, there's nothing really great in Iowa. That's why there's no tours or anything that come through here. The Mississippi is probably the biggest.
Right. I fished the Mississippi, but
yeah.
What is the river there right in town in Cedar Rapids?
Cedar.
Cedar. Is there bass in that, or is that not? Or
there's guys that fish the dams, the roller dams and stuff for catfish and stuff, but probably the backwaters and stuff. I just don't know. I don't fish the river ever really. So
yeah, Thomas wants to know if you want to break down the Gopher schedule for basketball or anything.
Well, do we play again? I don't remember. I think we might play one more time. I'm not scared. Ohio State coming up tomorrow. I'm scared.
Nice. Yeah, I honestly at the beginning of this whole COVID thing, I finally cut the cord, and I just haven't been keeping up on sports now that I've done that. It's not on TV. I don't have cable. I don't seek it out. So I'm behind. I heard the Gophers are decent this year, but I haven't really been watching them. So
yeah, they got a pretty good team.
Yeah. Other than shout out to Adam Bartusek, I follow his Twitter and I get his in-game reaction. So it gives me a gist of what's happening on a day-to-day basis for the Gophers. But yeah, that's a good one. I actually went and watched because some of my wife's parents or wife's uncle, they have some season tickets for Iowa.
Oh, nice.
So I did go to the very first trophy game. Was it for the Heartland between Penn State and Iowa? like a Heartland trophy or something like that.
Mm.
It was like the first they just started a trophy game, and it was probably like 10 plus years ago, and that was the first time.
I don't remember which one they have.
But so that's my about all my Cedar Rapids news. No, not even the Twins. We've made some moves. Yeah, I don't know. I watch the Vikings because they're on like local channels over the antenna, but that's about it. And that's not until it gets too cold. Like when the water starts getting slushy, then I start watching the Vikings.
Might as well watch TV instead.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got so you do a lot. I mean, you got a little boat. You kind of hop around, do some ponds, a lot of shore fishing.
Yep.
How big a radius do you cover around Cedar Rapids?
It's tough. Yeah, I wish I could travel more, but with my job and stuff and kids and school, on the weekends, I would say maybe like 3 hours is kind of tops that I can get out to. I wish I could do more, but
okay, yeah, that's not bad. So you got your favorites, your haunts that you hit up, and
yep.
How much time do you spend exploring new water versus kind of rotating through your favorites these days?
It depends. Now that I have the boat, like before, it used to have a crummy trolling motor on it. So now that I have a decent trolling motor, as long as it's not super windy or whatever, a lot of the lakes and stuff around here are pretty small. So, a couple 100 acres to 1,000 acres is kind of the average size. So perfect for a little John boat. I don't even have a gas motor on it. Mm-hmm. So it kind of depends. I mean, you kind of get in your rotation, but this year I definitely tried out new places. I've got some new places marked for next year. So I always like to try to reach out to different spots. I don't always fish the same stuff.
Sure. And like, is this like word of mouth? People give you little tips? Are you like a Google Maps? What kind of tools are you using to hunt out your new stuff?
Yep. Google Maps, word of mouth, DNR, like our DNR website here in Iowa is great. It lists all the public waters, regulations, stockings. So it's a really good resource too.
Yeah. Zeb wants to know, do you ever fish Brushy Creek?
A couple times. Yeah. I don't get over that way much. Last time I was there, I caught a muskie on bass tackle. So that's fun. That's a good place.
Well, cool. Well, let's maybe see what's in the first one. So this is my first experience ordering from Scheels. And to be honest, I actually got these new scissors today, these braid battle scissors. We're just going to use them for a box opening scissors today, but they come with a little sheath and some screws so you can mount them like on a cooler or a tackle box or somewhere in your boat.
That's pretty sweet.
I'm thinking they might be good for like right here, and this could be my like box opening scissors, but I haven't
good for the ice shack too.
Yeah, that could be good. So.
Seems like I never remember line cutters there.
Ooh, they feel solid. Nice grip. They feel got this serrated, so they'll grab the braid, right? So I basically ordered some stuff from Scheels because I ordered some new hockey masks because my daughter plays hockey, and like the in-mask ones, so she doesn't have to have them on her face when she's trying to skate. And I needed to get to $50 to have free shipping. So I've been in a few Scheels and out of state, pretty nice stores. I know the new one, Eden Prairie, is like an amazing, like it's like almost like a Cabela's or maybe even better, like experience. I will say the online shopping experience at Scheels not as good as the in-store experience.
What didn't you like online? I actually just ordered from them too not too long ago.
I just found that like trying to like if I knew exactly what I wanted and I was searching for it, I'm sure it would have been fine. But I just wanted to like browse for some stuff to see like what, and I just felt like that experience there wasn't any good way to filter to get down. Like it was kind of clumsy. I don't know. But so I just grabbed a couple Fritz sides, 5s. Somebody said one time that this color is supposed to be good in the spring. I don't know if you've heard that. Do you throw much red in the spring where you live? Is that a thing?
I do, for sure. Yeah.
You feel like it connects?
Absolutely. I didn't buy into it for the longest time. I'm like, red, like I never threw it. I stuck to my shag color, chartreuse stuff, right. But yeah, probably 5 years ago started, and I'm an idiot for not. Works.
Do you have any Fritz sides?
Yeah, I just grabbed some. Yep.
Yeah, this is the these are, they don't exactly slip out of there.
I think I might still have one here, unless I put it away. Oh, I do. from, I don't remember whose show that was on, but I have one of the little chartreuse here.
Is that the 5? Kind of that faded chartreuse kind of nice little bluegill imitator.
Yeah. Chartreuse
this
black
packaging
back
is like fierce. They're in here. They don't just slip out. But yeah, so I thought, this was this appears to be proven. I don't think it's just hype. Enough people are catching them on them that aren't sponsored by Berkley, that I believe.
Yeah, they're supposed to be solid cranks. I'm excited to try it.
So you just got some. You didn't throw any last year.
No, I just got them after ice. So
the hooks appear sharp enough that I stuck them in the blister. So that's good.
Yeah, they're fusion hooks. Those fusions are nice.
So there's kind of a close up of that. Yeah. Let's see what's going on. Debo, is the Scheels or bigger than ours in West Des Moines?
God, it's been forever since I've been to that Scheels. It's pretty good. The Coralville Scheels is pretty good. Actually, the one in Waterloo is pretty good too. I've only been there a couple times, but they had stuff that ours didn't, which is strange. When I ordered from them, I bought some ice fishing jigs and stuff online, and the thing that I thought was weird is apparently they actually ship directly from stores, because I got like 5 packages, and in like 3 of them there was literally only one little tiny ice jig. And it's like,
did it come in a box like that too?
No, it was in like the plastic
padded mailer
poppy envelope. Yeah, I'm like,
sure.
So they must ship from different stores, I guess.
Yeah, I got my masks in an envelope, and then I got these 2 crankbaits in a box. Dad Bod says the Scheels are massive in Texas. We have supposedly a massive one in Eden Prairie I haven't been to yet. Ryan wants to know, do you have clear or muddy water where you're fishing?
So I didn't know it for the longest time, but I'm actually pretty lucky with the number of different fisheries we have, because like I'll talk to guys like, I was talking to Tackle Junkie the other day. He fishes pretty much only muddy stuff. And I've talked to guys who only have, like clear water reservoirs, that are really deep, and et cetera, et cetera. And like we have a huge amount of everything. Like you can hit the Mississippi, which might be really muddy. We've got some little grassy lakes. We've got, like impoundments, like gravel pits that are super clear, like a reservoir.
Sure.
So we've got a bunch of different types. So it's nice. I get to kind of dabble in a little bit of everything.
Very cool. Yeah. We got a lot in Minnesota as well too. I would say it's probably more clear than anything, but if I get down south of the cities, down by Faribault, Mankato, we get more of those kind of fertile, muddy, or kind of more stained, darker lakes. And then when you go north, you get those weedy, clean, deep, clear lakes. So Dad Bod said he's fired up for the new Z-Man cross-eyed chatterbait. Have you picked up any of the cross-eyes yet?
No, I have not. I've looked at them.
There's a couple people like keep saying like they're good. They should worth a shot. How about you? Have you got any of the red? Did you buy any of the Firecraft chatterbaits?
I do have a couple of those. Yeah, after the big huge surge, I'm like, I got to see what the deal's about.
Yeah.
So I did grab some.
This thing, I don't know. I like this. I mean, it's compact. It's got a nice profile. You can feel like with those weights in there, it's going to cast nice.
That was my big thing.
This feels like it's going to generate a lot of bites. Like good fish, and I feel like numbers wise, this feels like this could be really good this spring. Kind of stoked. Happy that I put those in the cart. So you've been ice fishing a little bit and buying some ice jigs. What are you stocking up on? Like what have you been acquiring? Like I mean, you don't necessarily. I mean, you could show some of it, but just in general, what's been on your hit list to kind of like get ready for spring?
There hasn't been a ton. Some finesse jigs. The past few years, I've gotten into finesse jigs. My buddy Randy got me into that. I was always a huge Ned guy, like in the spring. But yeah, finesse jigs huge. So just kind of experimenting with some different ones of those. Like I've got a bunch of stuff laid out from the last live, but here's one from Cumberland.
Sure. Our boy Tin Horse Monty likes those Cumberland Pro jigs.
Yeah. And they've got like the little 2 wire keepers, which I love because I was shocked at the number of people who don't bend their jigs. That's a good question for you. Do you bend I don't really have a good one, but do you bend your wire or, brush guard on your jigs or no?
Like, do I modify it at all or anything?
Yeah. Do you V them out or no?
Yeah. So like, here's like my main jig that I like to use is this Bass Tech tungsten flipping jig. What's up, Sean? I see you in there. Yeah. So like out of the pack, they come pretty straight, right? So I'll kind of see like, because some, some jigs are like you'll see some variation even in the same brand, right? Like some will be stiffer than others. You might get a bit of goop or some glue that sticks out, or it may be some paint, right, that clumps around there. So if that's the case, then I'll kind of determine like, how stiff is it? And then like sometimes I'll break that if I feel like it's too stiff, or like loosen that up. But the other thing I do like to do is I like to V them, right? Like kind of split them in half.
For sure.
And do that, right? And for two reasons, it softens them up a little bit, but then it widens it, right? So that when that jig's coming through cover, when you spread it out, more likely your jig's going to kind of deflect around it versus like pushing over it and just hooking onto it. So that's kind of like, that's my typical thing. Although if I get one out of the pack on any jig model that's like too soft, then I might not mess with it for fear that it gets too soft. But is that kind of what you do? Or you do anything different?
Yep. No, 100%. I was shocked at the number of people, like when I'll talk to them about jig fishing, that don't do that. They just fish them straight out of the pack. And yeah, like you're saying, because like if you have it go over a log and it rolls over, if you don't have them V'd out, like that's when you get snagged and stuff. So yeah, V'ing those out really helps.
Zeb says there's an ice derby in Prairie du Chien this weekend.
Oh man, there was one I think at Lake Iowa. I don't remember if it was there last weekend or where, but there's also the holiday. Goodness, on my Holiday Lake. It's like a private lake here, but they had one last year that was pretty fun. You have to be like a member to fish it, but on one day for ice fishing, they open it up to the public. It was pretty fun. There was some big perch caught out of there.
Chad, I do not have my Whitty flats anywhere near me, but I would say the Whitty. Actually, I don't have any Whitty flats. I've only got the Whitty regulars, but it's definitely a thinner, more flat. But I don't know. I guess I don't have the flat Whitty, and I don't have my Whitties anywhere near me. So, what is your favorite situation? Clear water, stain, dirty. Where are you more productive? You want to go first, so we can both answer that one?
I like stained water. If I can have like 2 feet of visibility, that's where I feel most confident. I hate super clear water. Like if I can see down 10 feet, that scares me. Stained to dirty is my favorite. Yeah,
I would say day in and day out, a little stain, a little color, 2-3 feet is kind of really nice. But clear water doesn't freak me out by any means. We get a lot of that up north. So I guess if it's super clear and there's no weeds, that's a little like, but if there's weeds and vegetation, then I have no problem.
That doesn't either. I'm sorry. I should have said like clear offshore stuff. Like if you put me in real clear water and say fish offshore, nope.
Yeah. Although if it's smallies, then I don't mind.
See, I just don't like, I'm not big in the electronics game. I got a hummingbird or no, a Lowrance something to put on my John boat that's got like the down and side imaging. And I've never had that. Like just a real simple, depth finder is all I've ever used. So I'm interested to mess with it.
Nice. Yeah, I just upgraded. I had a 959 on the front of my boat. Just upgraded to the Helix 10 for the front.
Nice.
So, it actually showed up the day after I left for Pickwick for the national championship. So I had bought it thinking I was going to have it they'll put on my boat, and then it showed up while I was like halfway to Alabama. So
I got figures.
All right, people are asking for more lures.
I'll go grab one there.
So while we're waiting for Debo to get back, I've got a slightly bigger box from 6 Cents. And so a week or two ago, 6 Cents put a bunch of stuff on clearance, and then I used the Baitman code, and they stacked. So I got a bunch of stuff for close to 50% off from 6 Cents.
I ordered because you posted that, dude. Thank you. Yeah. I haven't got mine yet, though. They were back ordered on some
Mine
stuff.
just came in yesterday, so I was a little nervous it wasn't going to get here in time. But so yeah, I grabbed some stuff. I've dabbled with 6 Cents. I had bought in some of their flat crush 77s that I've had some pretty good luck with. I've done well on the Quake, so I was like, I dabbled in them and I had seen enough that had been productive, and I was like, well, I'm going to try some other stuff. So, oh wow, they actually put my order in a bait sack.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Sweet.
Yeah, I did not know that. So Unlike Baitman, I didn't pre-open these. I know he likes to pre-open his. Like this is raw and real. While I'm looking here, John Welsh says, Debo, love your YouTube. Do you collaborate with any bait companies on designs?
Yes, I work. No, I don't. I work with myself on bait designs. Nobody wants me designing baits. I've been painting for the past 2 years, so it's been a fun adventure. No.
Yeah, Alex, they do stack. So anything that's on their sale page, you can use Baitman to save an additional 10%. So they do look like a Crown Royal bag. I would agree.
I'm not mad at that.
So here's a Quake 70 in kind of a red. And I realized I had a deficiency of red crankbaits in my box. So this is their Crimson Craw. So I feel like that's a pretty standard safe bet. I was surprised to see just a nice solid quality color in the clearance. So I think I grabbed 2 of those. Yeah, there's another one. Well, they really packed them in there. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think a bunch of people ordered after you posted that because it was super picked over by the time I hopped on.
Yeah, so I got a couple Provoke jerkbaits. They're 106. So I got the Shad Sense and the Violet Panda. But so I'm been a big, I don't know, you throw a lot of jerkbaits, but most of the jerkbaits I throw are Megabass 110s. So I thought, I've heard good things about these. They're obviously about half the price. And I probably shouldn't always throw $22 jerkbaits. So I thought I'd give these a whirl. They seem pretty solid. I've heard good things about them. I really like their hooks on the 6th Sense. It's a good color though. I like this. Like, I was kind of, I mean, like I felt like, you know, you got a chartreuse belly, you've got a chrome purple. I mean, like, I don't know how you go wrong with that color.
What they call it? What panda?
Violet Panda.
Violet Panda. That's what I would imagine.
I wish I would have ordered more than one at this point.
Yeah, I personally love their jerkbaits. The 4K Shad, I've had the best luck with here. Love
Okay,
them.
so you throw in the Provokes quite a bit?
A ton. I've only had one Megabass, and I lost it, and I kind of vowed after that I wasn't going to buy them ever again. I had the old, you know, the KVDs, the old Strike Kings, the old Rapalas that I threw just because I had a bunch of them for so long.
Sure, and then this one's a Shad Sense, which is, I don't know, basically kind of a translucent, sexy shad with a little bit of purple. It's hard. I don't know if you can really see that, but there's like just a tinge of pink or purple like on that belly. It doesn't really show up on the camera, but I can see it. You'll have to take my word for it. But I've done really well in a similar color in the Megabass on that, especially on the river.
That's the thing I like about the 6 and stuff, like you're saying, the hooks, good paint job, solid hooks. You don't have to change anything out. I think somebody said that was VMC made those hooks for them specifically. It didn't say so on the box, so that kind of puzzled me because I was like, are these triple grips?
They don't look like anything that VMC sells. They look like a type of triple grip. Let's see what I got in here. All right. So I got a couple of the 100X in Crimson Craw as well. I don't know if that's a color they're clearing out. Maybe they're replacing it with a different red version, but I don't know. I feel like I needed to bulk up my red supply. Have you used many of their square bills?
I had one, I want to say early last year that I lost. I just picked up some more though. Whatever the mini one is, the mini like 6-foot diver, I'm the most excited to use. Like,
is that the Curve 55?
I don't remember. That might be it. Yeah.
This guy?
Yep. Yes. Those look sweet. I like on the pressure waters here because you've got the old boys in the boats that are throwing cranks all day, just pounding the banks around here.
Yeah, so I grabbed 2 of these, what they call PB&J crawfish.
They were out of those.
Yeah.
I wanted to grab some of those. They were out.
So first rule of sales is you buy before you share with your friends.
Is your order already in? Yes, it's in, but now I'll share. How kind of you.
Yeah, I actually went into the office today for the first time in a while, so I actually am not wearing a hoodie today. The Vega Frog and the Access at Academy lately. I have 4 sacks to 6 sacks on the workbench waiting for spring to come around. Nice. Rich says he uses the Crush 50 and the Flat 75. Yeah. So this, I think, from what I understand, is similar to a wigglewort or a rock crawler. Like that's kind of the type of bait. But I thought, this is kind of like a spring craw with a touch of purple in it. It's hard to see the purple, but
sweet colors, like that iridescent purple.
Yeah, it's got like the tail of it has. You can see the purple there, and then it kind of fades into the back really subtly. But
that's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I was surprised to find, but I thought some good colors. So we got 2 of those. So I don't have any of the curves. That's my first foray into the curves. I have a couple of their square bills. Like any good tackle junkie, I bought 2 almost of everything. So I got these Black Magic. We're kind of a matte black blue, which I feel like could be really good. Like I try to fish Mississippi River, Wabasha, La Crosse a fair amount. And if it gets super muddy, I feel like these would be good options to have in the tackle box. And then I got the 50X in a Cypress Gill, which is another black color.
That's sweet.
A little less.
Chartreuse on it?
It's got kind of like some vertical bars on it that are kind of almost kind of like a neon blue or green, kind of pearlescent, and then it's got a little blue on the head, and a little bit of, I would say, not orange but copper. I don't know if I'm not sure who Tucker and Dale versus Evil is. Do you get that reference?
I don't know, huh?
Yeah. John Welsh has a color name suggestion for you for your customs.
Your square bill should be called Xboxer. That's a different life ago. What's my favorite color? I'm actually, this is one I painted the other day. I'm kind of a bait man. I'm a big fan of the purple and green or chartreuse.
Yeah. Okay.
Focus. There we go.
It's almost like a fire tiger with some purple kind of.
Yeah.
Like
that one. But otherwise, like my go-to is like a shaddish color, sexy shad I like around here. Or a bluegill. Like here's another bluegill I painted the other day. It's like a translucent.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like that matte. That looks good. So is that have you not put an eye, or is that kind of a ghost eye?
No, that's an eye on there. Yeah, it's like a reflective,
kind of like a reflective, glow in the dark kind of zombie looking eye.
Yeah. Like a chartreuse eye. Yeah, those are kind of my go-tos for here. Small lakes, crappie. We don't have a ton of shad lakes. Crappie, white bass. We've got a bunch of hybrids. So anything that kind of white color bluegill does really well here.
Sure. Yeah, and up here, most of what I fish is all perch, bluegills. Our natural lakes, a ton of that stuff. If I get over the river, I get shad. Some of our lakes up north, you get into the smelt and tulibies and some of the other more like pelagic type fish. But most of what I...
Do you have gobies over there? Or no, is that...
No, I think Superior does, but yeah, not anywhere around here. Tom says we should be throwing the 55 on 8-pound to get max depth. Leo says, am I going to do a 2021 rod arsenal? I don't know. Depends. I really haven't changed up much of my rods. So I don't know if I'll do a full rod arsenal again this year. I did a 4-part series because I have rod issues. So it took me 4 videos to get me through all my rods.
Not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. Only live once, man. Live it up. Yeah.
So I think this year, if I add rods, maybe I'll just do a video on that rod as it comes in. That's probably how I'll do it. So we'll see. But if you got any questions, Leo, feel free to always just slide into my DMs or leave a comment in the video. I'm happy to always answer any Dobbins questions that you have. So Alex liked that eye. 6 cents brown eye craw is the best. I've seen that. I've heard of it. I have not bought any myself. So Levi, I like a 705 for my dock rod. That's my go-to dock rod is the 705 casting, which is their 7-foot mag heavy. And then I guess the last 2 6 cents baits I got are kind of these Rambo red. I mean, these are bright red. You gotta love a company that puts some time and thought into their color names to make it
Gotta
fun.
have fun with the names.
But it's got just kind of a nice, bright, I don't know, cherry tomato with some white bars on it. Not their fanciest paint job in the world, but I mean,
Good
I think
contrasting colors.
if they're mad at it and biting that red, I think it'll get it done. So I've heard a couple different theories on red. One is like the spring crawfish coming out; they're getting keyed on that. Another thing that I have heard is that in cold water, bass don't see as well. Like the cold water makes their cones or rods or whatever, so they can't see color as well. And then a red, I think at 6 feet and less is one of the most visible colors.
Yeah.
When you get below 6 feet, red disappears really quickly, from what I understand. So I think it could be a fact that they're like coming out of the cold, their metabolism's warming up, they're starting to see, but they can't see great. They're hungry, and like that just lets them like find it. I don't know. That could be a thing. I don't know. That's kind of where my head's at. I don't know that it's really the red crayfish could be a thing, but
yeah, I don't know. I've heard like I've always doubted that, and the same thing for like the red lips. Like people say, oh, well, you see them with the red lips, they're eating crawfish, but it's like I only see them with the red lips like really like that in the cold. Like it's got to be something to do with the cold, you know. Like humans, obviously, it'll stop. It's going to protect your vital organs first, body heat. So that's why you lose blood flow to your fingers and stuff. It's going to stop that to the appendages. So I'm like, I don't know about that, but I've heard the same thing too about the sight in colder water. And the other thing too is, what is it that somebody just shared that again with me? I hadn't seen it for a long time. The MEPS color chart. Like red doesn't look red underwater, you know. So if you've got like a blue tinge or a green tinge or a brown tinge to the water, like it doesn't even look red, you know. So is it like a brown to them, and that's what they're keying on? Is it, you know? I don't know. Not a bass. I don't see bass colors.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Thomas, I might have fit Francis, but if I did, it was a long time ago, and I'm not. I think that is that down by the Mankato area, but I haven't fished it regularly or in a long time. Red can work all year, but it seems to excel in the spring. It seems when it's most dominant. All right, so that was package number 2. Did you say you went and grabbed something? What did you go grab?
Oh, did somebody say PH Custom earlier or no?
If they didn't, they should have.
This is my first time going with the PH Custom, so you were showing the red. I figured I'd grab.
Sure.
I grabbed.
Okay, so is that a balsa?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So the balsa game is not something I've got a ton into. Just the DTs is like all I've ever tinkered with. So yeah, I grabbed some of those Fritz sides. I know they're not balsa, but kind of the same, you know, thought process behind it for cold water. So we'll see. I'm kind of interested to throw them, see if I notice a huge difference.
Yeah, Don, I have not tried the Crush 25. I've only got the 50s and 100s. You will not have any issues with frogs with a 735 Champion. It works just fine. I've got the Sierra. I've got the Champion. They're all, yeah. I know they play around with their ratings, but they both hit hard enough to throw a frog on for sure. Rich says he bought some of the new Evergreen Flat Force. Says they're pretty nice. I've heard about them. I don't know much about them, but
yeah, same.
Cool. All right. Let's see here. Let's save this one for last because that will segue into some things. So this package is from Super K Jigs, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but they're a Wisconsin company. And they do all hand-tied, custom, low-run jigs. So they watched my video where I compared chatterbaits to the clickbait.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And they have something in a bladed jig that they wanted to show me. So they sent me along with a few other things. So
sweet.
So one thing that they had that I thought was cool was this spinner bait, which I don't know that it's I don't know. I haven't played around with it. Arben spinner bait, chartreuse and white, but they got some unique blades on them. Like that kicker orange. I know the kicker orange can be super popular. Right, and then they've got kind of this weird, kind of odd shaped kind of Colorado willow with a
turtle. Do they call it turtle shell? I think turtle shell
kind of
blade.
similar to that. I guess we'll just rip it out. It says this comes with a mustad hook, premium blades and swivels. Unique Colorado blades are cupped to give off a different vibration. Mustad hooks. So kind of seems like a decent. Let's get this thing off the card. I mean, what are you really gonna learn with a bait on a card, right? So it's got a fairly light wire. I feel like that's gonna give off some good vibration. Not much of a bait keeper, but that's all right. I don't necessarily need that on a spinner bait. But yeah, you can see that kind of unique. It is kind of like a turtle. I don't know if that is a turtleback, but it is similar for sure. With that kicker blade, nice compact. I like the fact that it's compact, kind of almost like a War Eagle. Nice little 3/8 ounce spinnerbait, decent little thump. This could be a good spring spinnerbait for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
So, premium light wire spinnerbait. All right, let's see what else is in here. So the rest of it, I think, is all jig based. Big kicker blade. Yeah, it is kind of a bigger blade for a kicker blade. All right. So they have a couple. Let me sort these here. So they have what they call their timber tickler jig. Clever. That's those. All right. So they have two timber tickler jigs. I'll pull these out. These are both 1/2 ounce and kind of a PB&J. I think they call these Amber Surprise. It's kind of like, looking at it, it looks like kind of a combination between almost like a elongated or almost like a pill meets an arky. It's kind of flat, like it's not as wide. This is their timber jig. They got a bait keeper on, a little wire keeper that they do this. I mean, I've always used their swim jigs. They have that wire keeper that I like. Pretty heavy brush guard, which makes sense for a brush jig. Vertical line tie. I think that makes sense for a brush jig. Kind of like a strong hook, but a small hook. So if you like that style, I probably would trim that weed guard a bit on that one. But you definitely want some, weed guard on a brush jig. But there's two of those. Sweet. What's that?
That looks pretty sweet. Is that like the purple flash blue on there too?
Yeah, it's got so it's got kind of a pumpkin, and then instead of like mixing in purple strands, it's kind of a tinsel flash.
Yeah, that's sweet. I like that.
So two of those. And then there is some 1/2 ounce and 3/8 ounce Elite jigs, which I think they just came out with these. I like this color. This is really similar to color I use in Bass Tech. They call this See You Later. But this is kind of a more traditional Arky style jig. And they kind of have that green pumpkin with that kind of blue, kind of that magic craw looking color, which is a good looking color. They do have these ones have a screw lock, which is nice for holding baits. That same kind of, I would say maybe a 3/0 hook in these. Not a giant hook, but a decent looking hook. Pretty good weed guard. Vertical line tie. Interesting jigs. And then they have that same one in kind of a black blue chrome, and I got a couple of those. So I'm kind of set on my jig life with Bass Tech. So for those that like some jigs and would like to try these hand-tied Super K jigs, I'm going to give these 6 jigs away to somebody that wants to comment on the video. So after this is done, post video, come back, comment, and let's just say comment with your favorite jig color, or I'm in, or anything like that. And then next week on the stream, we'll do a random picker for these 6 jigs, and somebody will walk away with these Super K jigs.
Sweet.
Sound like a good deal? Anybody? You're eligible. You can comment. I'll allow it.
No, I won't. I'll leave it for one of your loyal fans.
And if you get picked, you must be a subscriber to get your prize. I think that's a fair thing. I will double check that. Bailey says, "What's up?"
Hey, what's up?
Let's see what else. Debo, can you compare P-line floral clear to the real floral? And what do you think of the floral clear?
Yeah, so floral clear is all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very soft line. It casts really easy. It's a good budget line for people starting out. I don't have any issues with it. Abrasion resistance compared to 100% fluorocarbon is not as good at all. So if you're around a bunch of rocks or a bunch of timber, for sure go with the regular 100%, whatever brand you like, 100% fluorocarbon.
Yeah, I actually used a while back I dabbled with the floral clear. I thought it was a decent line. I think it's a pretty good like cranking line.
I would agree. Yep.
I think you get a little more stretch than regular fluorocarbon. You get some of the sinking properties to get some maximum depth. It still is, I think, is not as easy to see as a mono. So I think there are some really good options. I mean, I think it has its place. I don't think it's your everyday line it could be, but I think there are better tools. But I think the floral clear is a good line for certain applications for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Sean, you are a subscriber, so you are eligible. Guggen Slayer said he bought some tackle. He got some Maruku shads and a rock crawler today. Both solid baits. Good scores for sure. Yeah. Leave that comment in the video afterwards, not in the live chat, to be eligible, just to be clear, because there's no way for me to do a comment picker from the live stream. This is a good question from Phil. Vertical line tie versus horizontal. Do you have an opinion or thoughts on that?
I've messed with both for sure. Swim jigs, I like vertical. Obviously, it comes through grass and everything better. I've messed with both, and I don't know. I think it really depends on the total jig setup as a whole.
Correct.
Like the actual head type combined with the line tie, because I mean, you could have a horizontal line tie on like
football.
No, I wasn't even going to say football. Like more of a round-headed, like recessed
ball jig, finesse jig. Yep.
Yeah, great. I mean, that does great, kind of all around. You know, obviously it's more of a dragging, but yeah, I think it just depends. It's kind of the whole package. I use both. I think like the Beast Coast, their G-Spool Battle Flip is a horizontal, and I think that one does great in the thick stuff. But then I'm trying to remember what the other flipping one I use is. I don't remember, but theirs is vertical. So
yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, anytime I think you're around grass, vertical is a good. I mean, there are some horizontal jigs that do okay in grass, but as a general rule, like the main jig I use, which is an Arky style Bass Tech, has a vertical eye because a lot of what we do, I think, around docks and grass and overall, it's a good. I mean, when in doubt, vertical I think works pretty well. There are certain situations where a flat, when you get in that finesse jig, rocks, certain timber applications where football jigs where that flat line tie will excel. So I think it really comes down to the design of the jig, and either can work with the right jig. Canine fluorocarbon is nice to crank on. I would think that that's probably similar to the floral clear. I don't know enough about it, but I'm guessing it would be. Thoughts on the new Suffix Promix braid? I honestly don't know anything about that. Do you know anything about that?
No.
What's in the cup?
Jack Daniel's Tennessee honey.
Thanks. Myself, a little Captain with some Diet Dr. Pepper.
Not mad at that.
Best crankbait rod under $100. I don't know under 100. I do know the Dobbins Fury 705 CB is like their best selling rod, and I think that retails for $110 or $120. So if you can get that at Dick's with a coupon or find a 10% off sale, you can get that right at $100, which I think is really good value. Do you have any recommendations?
Tatula XT. I've got a couple of theirs. I think one's a medium light for like my small cranks. Super solid rod for, I think regularly it's $99. But if you hit it on one of the Tackle Warehouse sales, a lot of people don't know that. Certain brands you can't promote sales.
Right.
So like Daiwa, Shimano, you can still buy on like their 10, 20, whatever % sale. You're just not going to see that price reflected until you actually pay for it at the end. So you can get 20% off on that. It's an $80 cranking stick. So
sure. or get the Colt. I just don't have much experience with the Colts, and I don't know of anybody that's used the Colt cranking.
I have a
stick.
Colt, not the cranking though.
Yeah, but I would assume it would be a good rod. But that Fury crankbait rod is a lot of people love that. Even guys that do a lot of cranking, even that own more expensive rods, really like the action of that rod. So can't go wrong with that. And then the last two things they sent me is their version of their vibrating jig. So I thought these were they actually call them the KLAKKEN, which I like the name. Like, thumbs up.
Do you
if
release
it doesn't catch any fish, good job on the name, the Super K KLAKKEN. Which
release the Kraken.
Release the KLAKKEN. Like, it would just be fun to say when you go out fishing, right? Like, so they do a direct line tie, but their blade comes separate from the jig in the package. So you must put your blade on, and then I don't have my pliers handy, but you would just crimp that ever so slightly, and then you would have a direct line tie vibrating jig that I guess gets around the legality of doing that.
Interesting.
So kudos to them for a creative name and a creative strategy for bringing another bladed jig to the market that has a direct line tie that will allow your blade to contact the head, right? Which is one of the things that we love about a direct line tie.
Make that clacking sound, huh? Ah.
And then it's got a weed guard on it, but super there's almost nothing to it. So, and like a healthy hook, right? Like those other jigs had kind of a more diminutive hook. This has got some meat to it. I'm actually going to grab a trailer, put on this, because I kind of like what they're doing here. Arsenal Baits Tactical Minnow, which is one of my favorite. And I don't normally like paddle tails for chatterbaits.
Really?
Theirs is super diminutive paddle tail. Very, like, it's almost, it's so small and like light that it's almost like a fluke at that point.
That's a cool paddle tail. I'm gonna have to check out their stuff. I've never used any of the Arsenal stuff.
Yeah. So, and this is their 4.5-inch version, which I think on this particular hook and this 3/8 ounce version, no need to bite this down. And for those that came late, you can use the code HellaBass15. I did a horrible job of starting that on. If you want to try out some of these tactical minnows, but there's. I feel like this needs to be bigger. Let's go. Right, there's this bladed jig, the KLAKKEN, with an Arsenal tactical minnow. So this is like their black and black and blue, which they kind of got kind of a camoed black blue barred skirt there, and then this is the bluegill colored, which is kind of a smoke blue gold fleck trailer on it. Will this get bit where you fish?
Oh, 100%. Black and blues money.
Yeah. And then I think anytime, like, I like these bluegill trailers because I feel confident that I can put this on a black and blue. I can put this on a green pumpkin chatterbait, and it's gonna serve me well either way.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you see those bluegill, it's like a translucent, almost like a silverish with the gold and blue flake in it. I like
this
that.
This has kind of got like a smoky. I don't know. You can't see this.
Yeah.
It's almost like a blue plastic, like a smoke blue. Like when I look through it through my light here, it's like blue translucent, and then you've got the gold and black fleck in there. So let's see here. We talked about trimming the weed guards earlier, Bob. What we both like to do is V them, like spread them like this. We'll trim it like on a jig like I showed earlier, where it's like stick. I would trim it like on this Bass Tech jig. Ugh, got some worm oil in my hands. Like, I feel like this is about where I want it. Like, I don't need to trim that. That's when I push it down, it's right in line with the barb, and that's about where I want my weed guard to be for length. So, and then we like to V it this way, like spread it in two. What bladed jig? This is the Super K Jigs KLAKKEN. KLAKKEN. And it's a direct line tie. It's got a wire clasp like that. That's really similar to the Z-Man Custom, which I like. That's a really strong connection. So if you want to, I feel like this if you like to fish on braid and heavy rods and really like to refund fish, this would be a solid chatterbait. That is the one knock, I think, on the jackhammer with that clip. Like if you go down to Florida and you're going to throw it on braid and catch an 8-pounder out of some hay grass, you might have some issues with that clip. This will let you really lean on some big pike or bass, I think, with braid. Yeah, and then the blade styles are just a little bit different. I don't know if I have any other bladed jigs handy, but it's a slightly different blade design. And obviously with that open, right, like being able to, like, you could in theory add your own blade to it, like if you want to try a different blade. Ryan says that rounded chatter blade is super erratic. Nice. Agreed. It's a bold strategy.
See if it pays off.
Yeah, so I'm excited to try these. I'm definitely going to give these a whirl. Sean says the Fury Crank Rat is really nice. When are we going to come out with a custom chatterbait? I don't know. I don't know that there's a need for a tungsten chatterbait, but what you can do is I don't know if I have my chatterbait box. Oh, it is right here. So two things. We can compare this KLAKKEN to a custom or a jackhammer.
I don't think I have any here.
So here's I think this is I don't know what that is. Here's one. See, just saying, I'm not just pulling up. There's an Arsenal tackle minnow. This is something that's in my tackle box rigged. It's not just.
What's up?
Is this here's a custom, right? So there's that same bluegill on a green pumpkin. So there's a custom Z-Man versus the KLAKKEN. So you can see that kind of hexagonal traditional Z-Man blade for this round blade. And then somebody asked about a tungsten chatterbait. What you can do is you could buy your favorite Bass Tech tungsten jig and then get one of these queen tackle switch blades. Have you seen these?
I have not. Those are pretty sweet.
So what you can do, any jig that has a vertical line tie, it's got this little system where you open. It's got like a little. You bend this out, and then you can pop this little bar out.
Is it like a clevis?
Yeah, it's got like it's like tapped in one side and the other side, and then it's just got a little fin that holds it in place. You know, maybe not the easiest thing to do on the live stream, but there I got it, I think.
And then you just push that through the eye?
Right, now I can...
I've never seen those.
Yeah, it's... Ugh. There, I think I got it. So now I got that clevis open. I gotta make sure I put it on the jig correctly now. I want this down. Gotta think about it, like, how does that go in the chatterbait? So now I slide that pin through this eye of this jig.
Huh.
Slide it back in there. Bend that tab back down. And now I've got a weedless tungsten chatterbait. Right?
That's pretty sweet.
My head kick right there. If I want something with a heavier, like, so if you really want something that's super brushy, right, you could take a jig, or maybe you got a jig that maybe you wore out, you know, whether it's tungsten or not, or whatever it is, right? Maybe the weed guard fell out. Now you got a jig that's useless. Well, now you could put a blade on it and turn it into a chatterbait, and then you still get some life out of it.
That's pretty sweet. For sure, probably one of the top 2 lures that I lose is chatterbait. For sure.
I think the other thing cool is, and you can probably appreciate this, somebody that fishes out of not a 21-foot bass boat, often trying to fish compact on the bank or going out with a buddy, right? I mean, we all do this, right? You go fishing with a friend, you go fishing from shore. You don't necessarily have 10 3,700 boxes with you. So the fact that you could buy a couple packs of these switchblades and just put them in your jig box, and then you don't need to carry chatterbaits and jigs, or maybe you don't need to carry as many chatterbaits because you're like, okay, I'll bring a white one and a black one. If I lose a couple, I'll just make some. You know what I mean?
That's
like, it
cool.
gives you some flexibility to like do some things from that standpoint. I don't know. So I think it's a cool product. I definitely have some on my boat. I haven't got a chance to fish them a lot, but everything looks legit so far. So yeah, actually Nate kind of chimed in as I was explaining that. What else here? what is the bladed jig called? It's the assuming it's this one here. It's the KLAKKEN, the Super K Jigs KLAKKEN. If I didn't cover that before, what hook is in the Bass Tech jig? It's a Mustad hook, 4/0 in the 3/8 ounce and 5/0 in the 1/2 ounce and 3/4 ounce. Honestly, cannot wait for your chatterbait on a video. Yeah, I can't wait either because that means the ice will melt. Yeah, I went into Dick's the other day and it looked like a Guggen takeover. Like there was like clickbaits and shake whatever different. Like it was just ridiculous. Save space for a towing lift for sure. Anymore. I've heard the Picasso shock blade is good. I have not tried them, but they also sent me their version of a fire crop. I don't know if I showed this off either, but it's got it's got the nice bait keeper on it too. So, so this is both of these are 3/8 ounce. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm interested to try these and give them a head to head. So maybe these will show up in that on the water clickbait versus the other ones, and maybe the KLAKKEN will make an appearance, or maybe the KLAKKEN needs its own video to compare it to a Z-Man. I don't know. What do you think, Debo? What would you do?
I like it. Yeah, I would. Do you already have all the contestants? Because I think I said add the shock blade to that other one too.
Okay. And we might have to open this up more so.
It's tough. It's hard to fit all that into one video. Yeah. You might have to do like a tournament, 3 versus 3 or something.
Like a bracket. Yeah, it'd be cool. Where I put the KLAKKEN at this point? Where's there's the black and blue KLAKKEN. So yeah, I think that's cool. And Super K Jigs, I don't have what they're really known for. Their bread and butter is the add-on blade is from Queen's Tackle or Queen Tackle. It's called the Switchblade. You can get it at Tackle Warehouse, or shout out to Bailey at the Serious Angler Podcast. If you go to one of his videos, he will have a code for 20% off at Queen Tackle. I won't tell you what it is, but if you go check out Bailey's channel, you can get a 20% off code for those switchblades at Queen's Tackle. That's where I learned about.
I'm going to check that out too.
Have you tried the Depths bladed jig? I do not have any JDM bladed jigs. How about you?
No. Nope.
Do you have any good recommendations for storing spinnerbaits and buzzbaits for the dad bod angler?
How do I store mine? I've actually got like one of those clear plastic bags. It's a small Bass Mafia money bag, like the clear ones, and I literally just lay them in flat. I still have yet to find a good way. My old one, oh yeah, it's back there. You might be able to see it. I don't know, somewhere over there. But it's one of the big square ones, where you have to put them in like this. Yep. I've got like 2 of those. You can't take those with you on the bank. So the best way I found when I'm just packing like a backpack is one of those. They have like a small size. So it's maybe like 5 by 6 or 7 inches or whatever, and just lay them in there flat. And I've had no issues that way. So
yeah, I'll be honest. I don't throw a ton of spinnerbaits.
Oh,
I throw a lot of chatterbait. I throw a lot of swim jig. I throw spinnerbaits more when I go down south where they're shed. I did really well on Pickwick on a spinnerbait. Welcome, William. He said he was browsing and this popped up. So
cool.
Glad to have you, William. Welcome to the stream. If you like what you see, hang around. Think about subscribing. That would be awesome. So I was saying about Super K. They've really been known. They're like one of those companies. I don't know if you don't know about them. They came out of the Wisconsin, like La Crosse, Mississippi River, Wisconsin, like up north swim jig, right? Like they're, like of a Brovarni, a Lethal Weapon, like they're that style of swim jig is kind of their bread and butter. I would say what they do a little bit different is they usually have a little bit heavier jig or heavier hook. So a little stouter hook. So if you like to fish your swim jigs on braid and things like that, they're going to have a more beefy hook than like a Brovarni or a Lethal Weapon. But they make a really great swim jig, especially like a river style swim jig. So that's what I've always used in their hand tied. They got the wire keeper, they're balanced. They got the custom bent, I don't know what, a 37-degree eye tie or whatever, like all the river guys like. So if you're looking for swim jigs, they're pretty sweet too. Sycamore, what is the most reliable go-to bait that isn't expensive and overhyped and super new technology? A swim jig is hard to bait. I don't know.
Texas rig plastic.
Yeah, a Texas rig, a jig. I don't know. That's that's where my head's at. I like a jig. I mean, like, you know, this Arky style jig that I keep talking about that I now put a bladed jig on, but right, I can flip this. I can cast it and drag it. I can swim it like a swim. Like this can do so many things for me. Like if I'm going to be a one rod Todd, this is going to be one of those. I mean, like that's just I'm going to have a lot of confidence in that. And it's going to catch you numbers of fish and get you big bites. William says he's already a sub to you, Debo. So there you go.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Debo's milkshake bringing all the boys to the yard tonight, which is nice.
It's the beard.
Let's see. Wacky worm get bit for sure. Yeah, for sure. No doubt on that. All right. Favorite drop shot plastic. Whatever's used on the bottom of the boat that I rip the head off on a Texas rig and then I wacky hook it and throw it on a drop shot.
I have put more time in with them. It's one of my least favorite things to throw, but the is it the Dream Shot? The KVD Dream Shot, I think. I've had the most luck with that one. I really like that one. It's not super small, but yet it's bulky enough, you know, that the largemouth like it. So
yeah, I don't know. I have a favorite. I mean, I throw like small Senkos on the drop shot. I throw trick worms. I do tiny tubes. Shad shaped worm from Yamamoto is really good. I don't know that I have like a favorite. I've got probably a half a dozen that I like to rotate through. How much is the KLAKKEN retail for? I'm not sure. We could pull up their website in the background here.
I can check for you if you want.
We have the technology on this stream to pull up a website. So
okay, I didn't know if you had a bunch. See here, I was trying to be nice, and nice guy always gets spit on. I see how it goes.
Let's see. All right, we are going to share our screen.
What? This is some fancy technology. This is sweet.
Yeah. So there it is. So this is what I was telling you. Like this is their traditional swim jig. This is like their bread and butter. Like this is what I've known them for. There's that spinnerbait. They got a few other things. Everything they do is hand. So let's see the KLAKKEN. Drum roll. Debo's in all my bandwidth. It looks like they charge $9 for their hand-tied bladed jigs, which I think is reasonable. Like that's I'm not saying it's cheap, but I think that's a decent value for a quality bait. I mean, it's in line. It's hand-tied, right? The Z-Man Custom is like $6.99 or $7.99, but it's a banded skirt. So I think the fact that you're getting a hand-tied skirt puts it right in line with the components of a Z-Man Custom. So what split rings do y'all use to change out cranks, and what hooks do I buy? I don't change a ton of split rings. Like I change hooks a decent amount when they get dull, but I don't necessarily get rid of the split rings unless it's torqued or tweaked. Then I don't know. I like some of the Spros, maybe some of the owners. I mean, just anything that's not like a cheap knockoff brand. I feel pretty confident with split rings. No magic split ring for me.
Same.
Sometimes I like the oval ones on the line ties, but they like your gaming chair, Debo.
I got it on sale.
Yeah.
See, I had one of the cheap short back ones, and now that I'm old, my back has had all sorts of problems. So I had to get one of these, and it's worth the money. It's got a little pillow deal here, and it's got a little lumbar support.
So is it just for streaming, or do you game in this chair as well?
I barely game anymore. I'm old school gamer, but yeah, just for streaming and sitting at my computer and working and stuff. So
yeah. I might need to. That might be one of the next purchases for me. Is like check out this thing.
Yeah, I had something like that. It did have a pad on it at least, but it was the same thing. The only thing I don't like about this is you can't adjust the arms up and down. So if you get one of these, don't get a cheap one. Get like a nice one where you can actually go up and down with the arms.
Yeah, I actually went to the office today and used my actual office chair, and that was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I was sitting at my kitchen table chair, and it wasn't doing it.
Yeah. Any reason you prefer the Fury over a Sierra Champion? For the 703, which I mainly use that as my like dock skipping rod. So if I'm not throwing a jig around a dock and I'm skipping a soft plastic like a dinger or a general or something like that, that's when I throw the 703. So there I'm using braid, straight braid, or braid to a short, heavy, like 15-pound fluorocarbon leader for that. And so for that reason, I'm fishing usually a couple feet of water. I'm skipping it around docks. I can see the braid. I can usually see the strike. I can see my line. I don't feel like I need a ton of sensitivity. So therefore, I don't feel like I need to spend $200 on that rod. $110 rod does everything I need for that tool. So that's why I use a Fury on my 703. If I was going to use that more for drop shotting, more shaky heading, finesse jigs, things like that, then I probably would jump up to the Sierra or Champion. But because I use it for a dock rod with braid, the Fury does everything I need.
Now that's interesting. You say you use braid. What's your main reason for braid? Being able to see it? Are you using a bright braid? Are you using it for the sensitivity? What? I noticed.
Well, so I'm usually skipping around docks, right? So the abrasion resistance and the strength of the braid, and that's why I'll tie to like a 15-pound like leader if I feel like it's really clear. Right, they are line shy of the braid. I typically like for this application a natural green or a smoke braid because sometimes I will tie direct to the wacky hook, and so I don't necessarily want a bright yellow high vis when I tie direct.
So what pound do you use, like when you're skipping? Because are you
20
talking
or
casting
30 pound spinning reel?
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking casting. I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Spinning rod. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
And then I think the braid casts better and line and then just line manageability, right? Like if you skip with fluorocarbon or mono around docks long enough, you are going to have line problems, especially with a Texas rigged Senko that's going to
twirl. Yeah.
Nate says VMC makes good split rings. Thoughts on the OG Slim? I haven't bought any yet. Have you bought any of the OG Slims yet?
No.
I'm pretty sure I will get some before spring. I just haven't got them yet.
I think
the bait man has got a bunch. He seems pretty excited about them, and he's a big crankbait grad. Don says he's got a bunch of them. Chad says he's checking out your lights in the background.
We were just talking. He puts my lighting game to shame. Maybe I need to fire those babies up. Those are for like my my videos over in the corner. But yeah, Rich, your light game is on point. Mine's like all yellowy. I don't know if it's because of the reflection. Our walls are like, I don't know, beige-ish yellow. I don't know what the hell the color is, but
see, but you've got like this is my video, my stream, like it's all one here right now.
Yeah. That's all mine goes on over there. So
although once it gets warm out, then I like to use my garage and sit in my boat. So
my John boat's creaky and not sweet to film from.
I got a pretty good bait wall behind my boat. It's a nice setup as well, so it's legit. But when it gets warmer out and I go back out there, I'm probably gonna have to like bring some of my lights in the garage because this is way better than my old streams for sure.
Yeah, it looks really good, man.
Debo, what are some dog lures? What do you think? Like, what are some overrated lures?
Are we talking cranks? What are we talking? Just anything?
I don't know. Just lures. I don't know. You can throw anybody under the bus.
I got so much heat for saying the Mega Bass Dark Sleeper. Like, I just wasn't a fan. Yeah. But I prefaced it with how I fish and where I fish. So when you're fishing from the bank, like it's just, I mean, you're donating lures to the lure gods down below. You know, if you're fishing a boat, 10 feet of water, you know, whatever, I could see a place for it. But just the way I fished, no. That was a big one. The Berkley Champ Craw, I also took heat on that too. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't find it super buoyant. Like they say it floats, but I noticed you have to like really hop it for it to float. Like just doing, I put a thing on Instagram, just testing it in my little test deal. But like if you're dragging it, I mean, it goes down. Like when you're throwing it on just a regular like EWG net hook. So like an actual Z-Man, or, you know, there's some of the other floating plastics that drag them or not. I mean, they're going right back up. So Jay Lee, if you ever met me, he'd probably knock me out, and that's okay. He's a pro. But yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of them. They look cool. The colors on them are outstanding. Like they look super real, but I don't know. Maybe I just need to put more time in.
I haven't tried the Champ Craw. I don't know. Just it didn't speak to me. Pit Boss, yeah. I know there's a lot of people that are angry that the old school pit boss is only in power bait now.
Junk. I don't know why because they got rid of all of Havoc, right? It's all gone.
Yeah, I think so. Havoc is done.
Done. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. Check your local Wally World. I stocked up. I don't know. It's been like 2 or 3 years ago, but they had them in like the dollar bin. $1 for a pack of pit bosses.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a lot of people scrambling for pit bosses and grass pigs.
See, that's interesting because they brought the grass pigs back and like the clamshell stuff, and it seems like a long time ago when they were in just like the regular Havoc, it seems like they fell off and nobody wanted them. I guess it's just a supply and demand thing now. Now that they're getting rid of them, everybody wants them, right? But
yeah, awesome, Bob. Hope you like them, the jigs. Sean, I have a 19-foot Bass Cat Pantera. It's an 05 that I bought used. So you can go back and like if you just rewind a little bit back to November, you can watch some videos and see my boat when I was actually still fishing. Never thought I watched HellaBass by a hockey master for my kids at Scheel's. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it's actually pretty sweet. My kid really likes that. So if you got kids in hockey, they're like $20, but I think they're worth it. Jerry says the hitworm better than the flatworm. I've heard that. Crawfatty was a popular one. Yeah. So yeah, if you can find them, if you can find Havoc and it's cheap, buy it. And even if you don't want it, you can resell it and make money. You can flip them.
That's crazy.
What's up, Gabe? Gabe's in the house. I feel like Gabe kind of lives like straight east of you. He's like in like Cannondale, Illinois, or is that south? That might be no, that's more. So he lives more like he's more down across from he's further south. He's like across from like Missouri. Never mind.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome, Gabe. Yeah. So I got one more package to open up. So remember, I'm giving away a bunch of those Super K jigs. So after the stream, for those that are just coming in, I know we got almost 100 here between Facebook and YouTube. Leave a comment, favorite jig color in the video afterwards to get a chance, and we'll pick those next week. So this next one, speaking of Gabe, perfect timing. Yeah, Cape Girardeau, Missouri is where he is. So that's a bit south of you. So I was on, as like we said, we don't watch a ton of other content, but I was hanging out in Gabe's stream last week, and he had a guest on that paints custom crankbaits.
Sweet.
They had some trivia, and because I am a tackle junkie, I was very successful in the trivia game. So I won some stuff. So one, I got a Tin Horse Monty decal.
That's awesome.
So he does a bunch of videos. He fishes out of so it's Tin Horse because he fishes out of a flat aluminum with like a 9 or 10 horse or 20 horse flat bottom. He fishes a lot of those smaller lakes in like Illinois and Missouri and stuff. So
I dig it. I'm gonna check him out.
Stuff. If you guys shout out to Gabe, but I got some baits from Bag 5 Baits. Have you heard of them?
I have not.
So
I have a huge appreciation for anybody who paints their own cranks, though.
Gabe sent me a note saying praying for early ice out. I can be down with that. So Bag 5 Baits, this guy, I didn't get all the story behind it, but he has some ties with like Strike King and designing baits and painting. So you might enjoy these. So first off, so I have a Strike King 5XD in a color he calls Blue Glimmer. So David says they're legit. While I'm getting this out, who catches more dinks, HellaBass or Debo?
For sure, me. Rich actually catches good fish and fishes in tournaments. I'm just some guy that fishes out of an aluminum kayak.
Strike King jerkbait, one of the best budget jerkbaits. Yeah, I think they're decent. The Shadow Wraps.
I agree.
For sure. Backlash will say there's some custom 10XD Bag 5 baits. I think I'm going to need to, for full appreciation of this work, that's not what I want to do. I want to just show this off a little bit here. So see if we can get that focused. But so there it goes. Just a nice, I don't know, let's say it's kind of a more of a, not quite sexy, but kind of a blue kind of shad. You can probably appreciate the detail on that as somebody that's been dabbling with the airbrush.
I like that a lot. Is that like an oyster, almost like bonish belly?
Yeah, it's kind of got like a chartreuse, oysterish kind of real faint yellow. And then the kind of fading the scale pattern.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of got some pearlescent to it for sure. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. It's hard to maybe pick up in a webcam, but there's a lot of detail there that's pretty legit. So that's and I think he has access to actual Strike King blanks. So when he paints on them, they're actual. They're not like KOs. These are actual. So that's a 5XD, which I think is my first 5XD, believe it or not. Yeah, you can actually see, like on the, you probably can't see it, but you can see the 5XD molded.
Yep.
So there we go.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. So this is, and I'm gonna. We need to pull. I mean, we need to make sure that. I think he had. Let me. I'll pull up his Instagram while we're. So then I got a lipless. Looks like a red eye shad here. Doesn't have a color name on it, but it is a cross. This looks like maybe a 3/4 ounce.
Take it out.
I'm taking it out. The hooks are plenty sharp, sticking to the bag. He did not write the color on this one, but this is kind of a craw that, like, you got some dark browns shifting into, kind of that natural craw pattern of the orange with some olive like greens and browns, and like there's a. I know he says
that's
that
awesome.
His craws are what he's known for. Like that's.
People don't understand the amount of work that goes into getting like a pencil thin line like that, even if you're using a stencil, to not overspray or spider it out, like, and the way he's shaded so you can see where it goes from the dark into the light and he's building it. That's so hard on a bait that small. That's awesome.
So yeah, I saw some of this stuff on stream, but seeing them in person is even more legit for sure. I'm going to pull up his Instagram because he's got some cool stuff, and I want, like, people want to check out this stuff because I think it's,
I have to check them out too. I'm taking notes.
I missed it. Be patient, people. Got some other weird Instagram account pulled up. So I'm going to pull, we're going to make our heads tiny. So you can see there, so he's got a bunch of different stuff.
What is it there? I didn't catch the name. Bag what?
Bag 5 baits.
Bag 5 baits.
So there it is. Right. I don't know if you can see that. Bag 5. Mike Russell's his name. But this looks like a 3XD in the same color pattern that I got this red eye. It looks like.
I think I saw some warts down there too. Is he's got like a wood grain?
Yeah. This. So here, this looks like almost like a take on the old Phantom Craw, like his own spin on it. This looks like. I don't know if this is a wood bait.
He's done his own wood grain. I bet he's done his own.
Wood grain? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Old school Woody, an old Woody van. Somebody needs to paint an old Woody van. Maybe I'll paint one of those.
I think this is this.
Yeah, there's that like blue with the oyster. That color's sweet.
Yeah, I feel like is that.
Oh yeah, oyster.
That might be really similar. It's a little different. That's just called.
I had good luck on that color too. Yeah.
And this, I think, shocker. I know in the stream I watched with Gabe, he said this was like his number one producer, number one seller is the shocker color. There's some cool stuff for sure.
Oh, check out the white one there that he redid. That must have been a busted up one that he redid.
Yeah, it looks like they repaired the bait and then repainted them. Some old balsa Bagleys.
That's sweet.
I really like this. Like I catch a lot of fish on this parrot color in Minnesota, even in our clean water. All right. So, and then I got, it looks like, he didn't really say. So it looks like I got a square bill. These ones are similar to that other one, but they have a little more purple. So I think this is a 2.5. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is a Strike King 2.5. But a similar, a little bit different crop pattern, but it's got a purple.
That's awesome.
And it looks like kind of that dark back, but I think there's some purple undertones to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like an iridescent
Oh,
color
Mike's
shift.
actually on here if you guys got questions. Look at that. What's up, Mike? So there's Mike there. So if anybody's got any questions, I think he said on his stream the best place to check it out, Clay, is his Instagram. And it's Bag 5 Baits. So I think they're saying this one is called Peanut Butter and Jelly Color.
That's so awesome. You do awesome work, Mike. Good stuff,
this is a silent. I don't know. Are all the 2.5 silent? I'm not sure. But
no. They're underrated, though. People don't throw silent enough.
Yeah. So that's a really cool bait. And then it looks like I got, I don't know, is this a 1.5? Or is that a, I don't think this is a 1. I feel like this is not, it's got too straight of a bill, so I'm not sure exact. I'm not up on all my Strike King baits. This is or not, but it's kind of a square bill, but it's.
Yeah, it's not a 1.5. That's like almost like a coffin mix.
I don't know what that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Mike, what bait is this? I'm not sure what bait this is because you didn't write it on the card, but it's another PB&J, that same color pattern.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a flat square bill, but I'm not sure what that model is. Uh, 1.5 deep. Gabe says. There you go. So good looking baits. I'm excited. So you know what? Actually, I'm gonna give this one away right here. Just 2 giveaways. We'll do a drawing for the jigs and for this 3/4 ounce lipless. Just because I know this one's not going to get a ton of play where I live. And if somebody wants this, you can, like, in the comments after the video, like, enter, say you in for the jigs, crankbait, both, whatever. We'll have a giveaway next week on the stream. So make sure you guys come back, leave a comment, make sure you subscribe, and we'll give away those 6 jigs and this. So there'll be 2 winners next week.
That's awesome. That's cool. Those are bad to the bone.
Yeah, awesome work, Mike. So yeah, for you guys, check out Bag 5 Baits. I think he said Instagram's the best place to check out the work where he's got the most pictures. And I think you can, I don't know what the best way to buy him, if it's to DM him on Instagram or his website, but there you go. All right, that'll see your custom crankbaits.
Well, geez, yeah, thanks. Let me follow that up. So here's one of my shabby brown and orange compared to Mike's. Thanks for putting me on after that. But yeah, people don't understand like the amount of work that goes into, you know, that's just like some simple stencil work and then like light shading up there. But to get the pencil lines that Mike did,
right,
that's so hard. Like his stuff is on another level. That stuff is beautiful. And like you don't understand like the amount of work that goes into stuff like this. But like you were saying, having those original Strike King blanks. So I got a whole ton of like wart blanks that were super good, like very reliable. And then I bought some of these, and these are the ones that like, instead of having, you know, the bulbous or the bulbous eye, you know, like a regular wart that you would paint. I don't know why that's not focused on there. Maybe if I do that, there we go.
There you go. Looks good.
These actually have eye slots, like where you can put eyes in, and they suck. They don't run true. I've tested them. So like just being able to get, like you put all that work into a crank like that, and it turns out and you're like, oh, I've got some pretty cool shading on it. You know, looks good. Then you throw it and it doesn't work, like junk. So getting, you know, having good reliable blanks is like so underrated. You know, a lot of people are selling these super cheap blanks, but that's not what it's about. Like there's another one I did the other night for a buddy. I don't know why. There we go.
The zombie zebra. I think that's what I call it.
The zombie zebra, exactly. So just playing around. I've only been doing it, I don't know, a little over a year, but it's so much fun. Like, I don't know, here's a little crappie that I did for a buddy. Which size?
That looks like a good bit. I could see that.
So, you know, just playing around. I'm still trying to learn the ropes. I don't know if I have any other cool colors. I just got done doing this and my fingers are still kind of painty, but just trying to layer colors and learn the basics of it. But Yeah, it's fun. Like that's what we were saying earlier. Like I think 6 cents is probably one of the closest you can get to like custom colors, like the way they,
Right.
like you were saying, like they would have the iridescence with the spots, along with like multiple layers. I think one of the closest you can get, and having good hardware. That's the other thing is some of these people selling cranks, they're selling them for $15 and they have cheap crummy hooks on them. So I don't know. But
Thomas seems to think that last crankbait was Huskers inspired. That
actually it was. So I started out doing this one for Westo Angling. He's a Huskers guy. I started out doing the black. I'm like, I don't really like this. I did a different one for him that was all just red and white Husker colors. But yeah, it pained me to do it. I felt like I was going to vomit the whole time I was painting Husker colors. But
yeah, and Leo says he feels bad. He's like, sometimes he doesn't get the dipping right on his spike it. So there you go.
I do that too.
Anyone know how to paint a beat up Huddleston? I feel like so. I'm friends with the guys at Dream Smasher Swim Baits, and I know it takes like a special kind of paint to paste soft plastics. So that's a whole nother. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but it's different than what you paint hard baits with. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it'd have to be like a self like clearing acrylic, because like what you use on crankbaits, most people anyway, is going to be like a water-based acrylic. So if you don't clear it, like for example, this one, like this doesn't have a clear on it, so It looks kind of matted. So you have to put that, that clear plasticky like this. You have to put that clear, slick, plasticky stuff over it to seal it. Otherwise, if you get it wet, it just washes off with water. So,
yeah, I know. Like you have to use the nasty stuff to paint soft plastic.
Yep, respirator and good ventilation, or else you're going to blow up your house and have lung problems.
So you either paint soft plastics or you make meth. It's the same gear either way.
Probably.
It's like Breaking Bad.
I haven't dabbled in the meth game, so
at least not that you talk about, which is good. No. You ever fish Okoboji?
Only a couple times. That's in the far northwest corner of Iowa. Yep. Clear Lake I've been up to is a fun one. I'm not really the same, obviously, but I don't have enough time in on it. I know there's a lot of good fish in there, though.
I think painting hollow bellies is the same as trying to paint soft swim baits.
Same. Yeah.
Although frogs, you can do a little. I mean, if you can do a little darking with doctoring with markers and things like that, they will take a dye pen a little bit and stuff. So that's the other thing. Like, if you're just trying to spruce up something, you can go at it with like a spike it marker and do some things on a swim bait. So
yeah, after breaking a spike it bottle in my bag, I invested in a lot of those markers.
Yeah, it's nice. The pens are. You don't quite get the bright, like if you're really trying to like hit something hard, but if you're just doing little accents, I like the markers for sure. So what's your, like, have you invested in like multiple rounds of like airbrushes? Did you just get one kit? Like what are some like basic things you've learned in your year of like painting for somebody that maybe is like interested in it, dabbling? Like what are some of the maybe don'ts or things to avoid? Or I don't know, just basic things if somebody wants to dabble.
As far as the airbrush, don't get a cheap airbrush. So I actually started out with the Wada Eclipse. I asked a few different people who painted, and they're like, just get the Eclipse. So I got that, and it's a super solid brush.
And what is that like? Is that like $20, $100?
$50 brush, okay. Right? So it's expensive. I've used the Badger. I think Patriot is a super solid brush. I just used my buddies a little bit. Then I got like a different Badger because they have different like nozzle or needle thicknesses to do different. They come in like 0.5, 0.35, 0.2 to get different like length or faded, like as far as how big the spray goes. Mm-hmm. So you get to a finer needle, you can get like the smaller like pin lines and such. Sure. But don't go with like a super cheap one. My buddy picked up, I think it was I don't want to say Master, but it was one similar. And the problem was the cup where you put the paint in is so small at the bottom, it was such a pain to clean. And when you're painting baits, like even just a simple bait, like this, not a lot of colors, you've got 5 or 6 different color changes that you're going through. So you're cleaning that out every time in between. Don't overlook that. So yeah, don't go with a super cheap one unless it's easy to maintain and clean. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, you can get away with like a tabletop air compressor. I had a cheap air compressor that I started with, and it doesn't really matter. They're just loud. I invested in a one now because I paint in my basement, and I have kids and such. That's a lot quieter, but
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Zeb said he tried the Omnia code. It wasn't working. Actually, thanks for the reminder. I just updated it in the ticker. We updated the code for seasons. Evidently, when you have a code out for a while, the coupon sites pick it up, and then you got to refresh and update your code. So if you're looking for Omnia fishing, 15% off on just about anything, except for a few things like Megabass and Shimano, which codes don't work anywhere for those. You can use HellaBass Spring 15 if you want to save on some tackle. They might have, I think they have a few OG Slims in stock. At least last time I checked, they did. So thanks for the reminder, Zeb. I updated that. It should be in the description, updated as well. Gabe wants to know what, and I was going to ask you this too. What's on the plate for 2021, fishing wise, channel wise? What I think you had a video or a stream. We did the goals, but maybe just give us some tidbits of what your big plans are.
I think you actually wrote it under me. Suck less. That's pretty much the plan.
That's actually my catchphrase. Like, so I say, this channel is all about helping you catch more bass and suck less. So
I like it.
Not just for you, but that's.
I thought it was me. I thought it was put under me, so I should suck less. No, I don't have any big plans. I'm not one of those guys that's going to roll out 10 different amazing things and they don't come true. I'm just steady plugging ahead with what I've been doing. I never thought that I would get to where I'm at today. So, like we kind of talked about earlier, trying some new places out that I haven't fished for a few years. Trying places that I've never fished. Traveling, maybe, go up on like a Friday night, 4 or 5 hours away, fish it for the day and come back. Otherwise the same stuff, man. I'm a gear nerd. I'm a tackle nerd. So trying to get stuff when I can. One thing I'm going to do more of is supporting smaller companies. So just painting my own crankbaits, like knowing how much goes into this, I want to try to support more of, the garage baits or, local guys doing stuff. So I want to do a lot more of that. So I
guys like these.
100%.
Guys like because, these, right? Like, I mean, like,
yep. I'm going to order some of those. But yeah, there's so much talent out there, and it's just fun to get different takes on, what people make, or, a color scheme you've never seen before. We're all kind of attuned to going to Tackle Warehouse and put stuff on our cart, but helping those smaller guys out now, I think, is more important more than ever. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely have aspirations to get out a little more in between tournaments and go meet some people and do some fun fishing, whether it's somebody like you or somebody, like go to Wisconsin or get up to Superior or like do some things and just, collaborate. I really tried really hard to meet Gabe on my way back from Pickwick, and it just didn't work out. And I actually tried to meet Baitman, but like Kevin's daughter got sick, and I was like, well, it was like COVID, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna stay. and then I missed a turn in the middle of Illinois in the middle of the night, and I was like, well, no, I'm not gonna backtrack an hour, Gabe. I'm gonna head home now. So, but like, I definitely want to do more things like that, because I think that's part of the fun, is just extending the community and fishing with new people and
for sure
and sharing those experiences. But yeah, so we're not that far away. I mean,
I was just gonna say that, only being 3 hours away, we need to get something set up.
I was thinking like, so where you are at, what is the closest pool of the Mississippi River? Like, what is the city or pool? Do you know?
I don't fish a ton of them. Over by Muscatine is the one me and my old man fish a lot. That wouldn't be up your way though. That's more.
Right. No, it's like straight east. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But like, how far is Prairie du Chien from you?
I want to say hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably
because they used to have like the Cabela's there, right? I don't know if they still have it.
It's probably like 3 hours for me to get to Prairie, but like
really,
yeah,
from Minneapolis, huh?
Yeah, so like La Crosse, like 2.5 for you.
No, La Crosse is like a 4-hour drive.
Okay, all right.
3.5,
somewhere in there.
I'd say. Yeah. I figured out. I'm down, dude.
Like south of Rochester, north of you, that's like a vast wasteland.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. Yeah.
There's not.
I don't get to explore that. Well, I mean, are they not good lakes? Or because I know there's a bunch of like small lakes and stuff along the way.
I mean, like southern Minnesota has lakes, but like I feel like northeast Iowa doesn't have a lot. maybe there's small ones. I guess I think of things in like where tournaments go, and that's like where my mind is. That's not always correct, but like, nice.
Yeah, there's no big good tournament stuff in Iowa. We're not known for that.
Yeah. There's a few lakes, but yeah, I mean, there's a reason that almost all the big tournaments in Iowa go out of the river, because So,
Yep, for sure.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. Well, this has been cool. I think I covered most things I wanted to ask you. I don't know. We don't need to go like a 4-hour marathon stream tonight. It was great getting to know you. I feel like I kind of know some people a little bit watching their stuff, but it's cool to kind of chat and get to know you a little bit.
Agreed. Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it a bunch.
What's anything coming up in the short term? Like more ice fishing videos? You doing some any good tackle stuff? Like what's on the short list of things? You gotta have a little bit of a content calendar. What's coming up on Debos fishing?
Catching up on gear reviews. Like the problem is when you get in the rut of fishing, and I shouldn't say the rut of fishing, but the joy of fishing, and like that's what I want to do is keep grinding and fishing while I can. You get behind on gear reviews and tackle stuff. So like my downtime for winter, I need to catch up on it. You can see I've got a bunch of rods and stuff back there. I need to get caught up on gear that I used last year, reels, rods, all that stuff. And there's just not enough time. You know, you can only make so many videos and keep up with a full-time job and kids and life in general. So
yeah,
catching
fishing
up.
Videos take way more time to edit than a gear video.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's why unboxings are so nice. You get a box. I talk about sweet baits. You film it in, an hour to edit and done. You go out fishing for 8 hours and you've got to sift through 8 hours of footage. You've got to put cuts in, transitions, you're talking like 3 hours to edit. People don't understand that. So
I think this is valid. So you're a big Hawkeye guy. Do you follow pro football at all?
I don't, but I've seen Wirfs is tearing it up. So I'm going to have to go with Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Funny stat, because I think they were saying that was back when the playoffs were going on. There were more Iowa players in the playoffs than any other college. Like active roster people. I think there was like 9 or 10 Hawks, so that's pretty cool. I don't watch NFL though, so.
Yeah. So I think the Chiefs are going to win, but I think I'm going to kind of pull for Tampa Bay. How's that? I'm just glad the Packers aren't in it. So that's a win in my eyes as a Vikings fan. You think there's a big gap between what fish see in lures and what people see? I do think there is. I don't know the science behind it, but in short, yes.
A lot of lures are made to catch fishermen, not fish. That's for sure.
Do you use a wireless system, and if so, which one? I'm not sure what. Is that like mic that you're asking? Audio, or what are you asking, Gabe? I'm not sure. I'll let him clarify. Are you gonna look at proficiency rods?
I didn't know they had them at Walmart. I've heard of them, but I haven't looked into his stuff. David Dudley's an interesting guy, super full of knowledge. I've watched a few of his videos. I was just telling Rich before, I honestly don't have enough time to watch YouTube at all. I feel like a jerk, but
yeah, Debo's fishing. If you search Debo, you will find his channel for sure. It says four Iowa players in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was reading the article on Wirfs. He's the big one.
Okay.
I don't know who else is on there. That's awesome. I didn't realize they had that many. I don't follow NFL, so I'm a big basketball guy. Yeah.
So the college, or you put the pro basketball? Yeah, you said you like is it like the
pro,
Wolves your team,
college,
or do you follow like all in general?
No, I'm a Bulls fan for sure, okay. But Wolves are fun to watch.
I suppose when you were growing up, like that was the easy one to like.
See, it's funny because I was never like a Jordan fan. I liked the Bulls, but I was a Rodman guy. I don't know why. I wanted to be that defiant, tough guy. You watched him and it was just like he's doing whatever he wanted out there, having time of his life. I was a Pacers fan back in the day too. I liked Reggie Miller a lot. Yep, big Reggie Miller guy. Okay, here's a question: did you have a Hornets starter jacket?
I did not. I never had a starter jacket. Maybe. Oh,
it's like
I think I had one of those Blackhawks starter jacket at one time.
It seemed like everybody had a Hornets jacket, and they weren't really Hornets fans, but like you always saw Hornets starter jacket.
I know that weird greenish, bluish, purple color was cool at some point. Yep. I never could get behind that.
I didn't either. We had a bunch of Chicago fans, so it was all Bulls. We actually had like an old, I don't know, I would say old, but like a starter outlet where I grew up. So we always got like the cool stuff that was like 3 years old cool. So.
Which is Iowa cool, right? 3 years old.
Right, exactly.
Same thing.
For sure. Shimano Celis rod. Yeah, it's a solid stick. I like it for a budget rod. Absolutely. That's, for example, that's one that people have been asking about a ton. I haven't got around to doing a review, but
what is the
yeah,
price
for
point
some
of a
things,
Celis? I don't even know.
$49. It's
Okay.
$49 Shimano rod.
Nice. I guess the Gophers have 3. That makes sense, yeah, because we have there's 2 on Tampa Bay, right? Antoine Winfield Jr. and Tyler Johnson are both on Tampa Bay. Chad says, "No way Mahomes beats Brady." I don't. Well, I think I get that, but the team, Casey has a strong team, so I don't think there's a 0 chance. Gabe was saying wireless audio for shooting videos. I don't. I mean, up to this point, I don't have any. I actually just got an external mic for my GoPro 4, which I often use for my chesty, that I'm going to dabble with. But otherwise, I feel like the chesty is strong for audio in general. But you don't do anything special? Do you do any mics, or do you do like anything?
I still have the Hero 4s because of that mic input. They're the best ones for that.
So you do have a little, like, you put a little external mic on that.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I just have the corded one with like the dead chinchilla microphone cover deal. Nice. It's crazy how much that blocks, like wind.
Look, we got a Baitman cameo. Look at that.
The Baitman.
You missed it, Baitman. We looked at a whole bunch of this 6th Sense stuff and talked about the Baitman code. So
thanks for supporting our addiction, Baitman.
Yeah. Might as well save a few dollars when you have an addiction. You know it's not going away.
Somebody commented on one of my videos the other day that said, my dad got me into fishing so I wouldn't have money for drugs. And then somebody else under it said, or have money for anything else. And I'm like, I second that.
Nice.
For sure.
So here's another color nomination for you.
Dude, I need to. If I do one like this and like a Hornets starter jacket, oh my gosh. Done. Who is that? John Welsh. John, hit me up on Instagram. I'll get you one. Just for that idea, I'll paint 2 of them and send one to you.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. All right.
Cool, brother.
Yeah, I think we're good. I appreciate it. So if for some reason you know about my channel and don't know about Debo's channel, there will be, I think there's a link already down below. Just a reminder that if you guys want to get in the drawings, right, leave a comment of some kind for next week and we'll do a drawing. Yeah, the snap mount is good. It does get a little clothing noise. Have you ever seen the snap mount? Sorry, I got disrailed. So I don't use like a chesty strap.
Oh,
it's got this magnet mount, and then I have this lanyard that goes under my shirt. Like I wear this around my neck, and then I can like just show you, right, because I have a button up. But then I just like that's backwards. But like that just hangs off my neck, and then it just clips the magnet on there.
Huh. I've never heard of that.
So no bulky chest straps when it's 90 degrees outside. Now, with a T-shirt,
I was going to say, do you have problems with it flopping?
But with like a hoodie,
yeah,
there's enough weight in the material of the hoodie. It's not great with just a sun shirt, but it's still better, I think, than, I don't know. So there's that.
That'd be really nice for ice fishing too, under your bibs.
For sure, yeah. I haven't tried it with like real stuff. Oh, gosh, that was loud. Sorry for the people listening on podcast version of the. But yeah, so enter the drawing, leave a comment if you hear about this on the podcast version. So if you guys want to re-listen to this, don't want to watch the whole replay, there will be a podcast version. Just search HellaBass in your favorite podcast app. If you're hearing it then and you want to get into the drawing, migrate to HellaBass on YouTube. Leave a comment on this video. So those are how you can win those custom baited crankbait and those free jigs. Thanks for coming, Debo. Anything else you want to cover? Shout out? Anything?
No, man. Huge thanks to you for having me on. I'm honored to be on. Have to get you on one of mine. I'm down. Especially since you do the tournament stuff. I know we've got guys that ask those questions, and I don't get into the tournament game, so I think we can pick your brain. It'd be fun.
Yeah, awesome. So
cool.
I think we're going to call it a wrap. As always, here to help you guys catch more bass and suck less.